unforgettable time and have you love him for it. He was good at that. One day he noisily emptied his suit jacket pocket onto the hood of his car in search of change for the meter. A clunky metal thing slid from the pile and bounced on the sidewalk. As I retrieved it for him, I asked what he was doing with a hole puncher in his pocket. His face lit up at the question like he was an elf, and I asked him how he felt about climbing into the hollow of a big tree to bake some cookies or something. The 2'6" height differential between us causes these comparisons to enter my mind. A small crowd had already gathered around even before he produced the first pack of unmolested cards. How people seem to gather and how they even know a street performance is about to take place, I'll never know. It's perhaps Anderson's greatest trick, luring the marks like that. I wanted to ask if he was sure about this performing in broad daylight. He was used to working in dark rooms. It was usually the first thing out of his mouth when he would queer a trick. I'm really more accustomed to working in a darker room than this. But Harry was excited and had already butchered the first deck of cards with the hole puncher and issued the first round of apologies to the crowd. These were like the premier apologies, the sort that got the folks loosened up a bit before the 7-course meal of an integration that would inevitably follow. He asked me for a fresh deck of cards and I gave him one. The principle behind the trick, in theory, as he explained to me later, was to punch holes in what appeared to be one card, but was in fact two or more together. Hence the difficulty he often had to squeezing the puncher with his little elfish hands. Then using some coy maneuvers with his thumb temporarily concealing the hole while he slid the card beneath it with his palm. The hole would seem to disappear or move to another part of the card. Oh yeah, that's right. The old hole in the ace trick. Interesting enough, pertaining to punching holes in cards and making them disappear and stuff. Your hands were never really strong enough to make this one work all that well either, but actually this gives you an idea. Ba-da-da-da. You overlap two of the punch cards. They mask each other's hole patterns. John, put both cards in the totem length. You carve another totem using the new combined hole pattern. John, take it to the alchemister. Oh man, looks like Rose made like 1,000,000 hammers for some reason. Get all this shit out of the way. You're about to make something sweet. You got the pogo hammer. John, practice with a new weapon. What did you do? I combined the cards in the lathe thingy and made this. It's so sweet. Look at me go. I see. That was a really good idea, John. Nice work. Thanks. I got the idea from Harry Anderson. Who? Oh, you know the show Night Court? No. Oh, well, bottom line is he's awesome. That's really all there is to say on the matter. John, attack the nearest imp to test Pogo Hammer's strength. You get a vicious rhythmatic bouncing combo going and easily slay the imp in one blow. You and the Pogo Red are catapulted sky high in the process. Sweet catch! Rose, Pester John. Hey, that was a pretty nice sweet catch save. Oh yeah, that. This is pretty comfy. Why don't you just like carry the bed around with me on it up to the gate up there? I can't interact with you directly or anything that you are touching if it will result in moving you. See? Oh, lame. The game probably regards this as a kind of cheating in a way, thieving you of your free will as an adventurer, and the need to advance by your own skill and ingenuity. Well, the server player is just a facilitator. Well, okay, all that scurrying around kind of wore me out. I think I'm going to rest here for a bit. Rose, can you keep the imps at bay? Like, drop some stuff on them if they sneak too close? No, you should pick up your hammer and defend yourself. What? Come on, I have no idea what the hell Dave is up to or if he's any closer to recovering the game. There's some stuff I like to try in case he doesn't come through. Oh, alright, I'm just gonna rest my eyes here a second, though. Boop doop doop. Loading. John, sleep. Let's check alchemy extrusis. Looks like a sort of index documenting all the known results for punch card alchemy combinations. This could be a convenient resource as you start to stumble on more useful card combinations, but ever since John started punching cards, you've been contemplating other ways this item manufacturing system could be put to use. And particularly if you obtain the code for any item at your disposal, you think you could theoretically send the code to John and he can make it himself. That is, if you can think of anything that would be worth sending to him. Rose, Capsulog Suburb Server CD. You eject the disk and capsulog the server CD. Rose, message John the captcha code. Oh, god damn it. Face palmed. I'm facepalm combo times 2. Hey, whoa, there you are. How's your adventure going, John? It's okay. I'm making some progress and Rose finally connected again, so she's helping me now. That's good. Oh, but, like, I don't think I'm actually saving the world here. I don't know what I'm really accomplishing, but I guess it's not that. Well, I think whatever it is, it must be pretty important. Don't lose hope, John. I think it will be all. It will all turn out for the best if you stay positive. Just keep listening to your grandmother's advice. Yeah, you're probably right, but I don't think I mentioned Nana to you. Oh, I don't know. Didn't you? I don't know. Maybe you talked to Rose or Dave about it or something. Yeah, maybe that was it. They're really weird when they talk to me about you. Like, they're always trying to convince me you have, like, you have some spooky powers, but I'm always like, nah, she seems like a pretty regular girl to me. But then I think back, maybe there are times when it seems like you know some things, like maybe you know more about a thing than you are telling me. I don't know. Oh well, John, I want to explain lots of things to you. Some things that I know, I'm just waiting. Waiting for what? Oh, John, I forgot. I was messaging you about the meteor that fell near my house. Oh, yeah. Whatever happened with that? Oh, boy. Well, it turns out I was just confused about it. Really confused. See, I guess I fell asleep for a while and lost track of time. That happens. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Maybe you should wear an alarm clock or something. So, what was the deal with the meteor? Well, it's hard to explain, but I know what it is now, and now I know everything's going to be okay. So what is it, or is it just another thing you're waiting to tell me? Oh gosh, John, I really want to tell you all this stuff, but I can't yet. I really think you need to wake up first, huh? Well, okay, not literally. Well, okay, maybe kinda literally. Ugh, stop being so confusing. Well, anyway, time for you to go, John. I think you have some company, Heart. John, quickly grab the pogo hammer. You stick the pogo hammer back in your strife specibus and get ready to kill some more of these pesky little, huh? What's that? Typical therapist sees pestering ectobiologist. Rose, why aren't you dropping something on that thing? Oh no. John, be the imp. You be the imp and quickly abscond the fuck out of there. This is what weaker adversaries do whenever things get too hot to handle, which is frequently. John, prepare for a boss battle. You stop being the imp because that was stupid and scurry over to your magic chest that you suddenly remembered was on the roof. There are some things in there that would be good to stock up on for a major battle, but it looks like someone has plundered your chest. This is so outrageous. You are being ambushed. There isn't much room to maneuver on this sloping roof. Maybe you should consider making your way to higher ground. John, ascend to the highest point of the house. You go up there. John, look down. You peek over the edge. It already seems like a long way down to your yard. Not even to speak of whatever's below. Hey, weren't your trick handcuffs dangling from that branch earlier? Damn it, why do imps got to be making off with all your sweet gear? John, turn around. Crud, ogre. You are confronted with a pair of enormous foes. This is it. You have no choice but to wage a fierce rooftop battle. This is totally going to happen now and could in no way conceivably be interrupted by a sudden shift in our attention. It's go time. It's time to do this thing. We're doing it, man. We're making this happen. Dave, stop being the other guy. You stop being the other guy. You're not even sure what that meant, anyways. Dave, ascend to the highest point of the building. Oh. Psych. Oh, wait. Double psych out combo. You are now the wayward vagabond. WV, retrieve. Got him already. WV, examine rotten pumpkin. What pumpkin? WV, check the little red bar. It appears to be a gauge for a large power cell, perhaps fueled by some type of nuclear reaction. If this is the case, it is relatively low on fuel, but who knows how long it has been running here. You do not care about this sort of nonsense and you will disregard it at once. You are very hungry. WV, capsulog can of gravy. Capsulog, you have no idea what that means. It is total nonsense and you do not know what to make of it. You will not give the foolish notion a second thought. WV, pick up the can of gravy. Just pick it up. You just pick it up. You are now holding the can of gravy. WV, use sharp teeth to poke a hole in the lid of the can. Your teeth are useless for the task. They are blunts, like that of livestock, presumably suitable for mashing up plant matter and not for puncturing metal. WV, attempt to open can with your weak, pathetic digits. Your weak, pathetic digits are not strong enough to penetrate the can. Your fingers are certainly pointy enough, and your black carapace is suitably rigid, but you just don't have enough muscle for the task. WV, take the can labeled beans. Oh, you take that too. WV, examine can of custard. The can clearly reads mustard, a fact of which you are perfectly well aware of. It is sort of cumbersome holding all these cans at once. You doubt you can hold many more than this, maybe one or two. You'll need to find something to put stuff in if you want to carry a lot of things around. WV, examine marking on wrist. You drop all the cans and take a look at your wrist. It is a sort of specialized barcode pattern. This brings back unpleasant memories and you would prefer not to dwell on it. WV, examine the potted plant. What plant? WV, check book on human etiquette. It appears half the pages of this book have been eaten. The daunting volume is considerably lighter than it once was. Substance: horse, cow, chicken, pig, goat. You were somewhat skeptical about the nutritional value contained by these pages. However, of the practical wisdom they contain, there can be little doubt you've learned so much. WV, clear out all the cans inside the purple machine. You have emptied the peculiar cabinet and take a quick inventory of your canned goods. You have beans, mustard, gravy, bread, shrimp, asparagus, cheese, rice, corn, peas, flour, chestnuts, mayo, ham, potatoes, and squash. Such a bountiful plenty. And yet the delights taunt you from within their small metal prisons. WV, search room for can opener. You have already looked all over the place for a can opener, even making a few electronic inquiries about one to no avail. Nothing else inside the purple thing either. WV, locate a nearby sharp object. You wield your trusty knife that is actually, you're not sure what they're called. It's a old rusted one of those red mailbox arm swing flappy doodads. Either for letting you know there's mail in the box or maybe for alerting the mailman to outgoing mail to be collected. You don't really know. You don't know, really. You've wrapped a little piece of cloth around it for the grip. It is useless for opening cans. WV, be the imp. This means nothing to you. You are not an imp. You have no idea what an imp is, and you will not entertain such frivolous and childish ideas ever again. You feel stupid and hate yourself a little for even considering it. WV, become the mayor of Cantown. As the glorious founder and mayor of Cantown, you erect a dignified, majestic city hall out of cans, fittingly capped off with a tome of great manners for the roof. You have given yourself a very official and important-looking mayoral sash made out of old cables to complete your look of authority. A number of rather civic-minded citizen cans gather in front of the building to offer adulation to their fair and monogamous leader. All is well. You immerse yourself in this beautiful dream as you whittle away the minutes or perhaps hours. You love the idea of being a mayor. You love everything about mayors and the concept of an orderly civil democracy. It all seems so mannerly and reasonable to you. Everyone is friendly and happy, and the city runs like clockwork. The foundation of the government is based on mutual respect between the leader and its people. It is also built on having a really great mayor that everyone loves, who is totally amazing and heroic and brave. Mayors are so much better than kings. You hate kings, and you think kings are really stupid. They're petty, bossy tyrants, and are really full of themselves, and are basically awful in every way. God, you hate kings. WV, explore west of Cantown. Over here is the other side of the room. There is another one of those purple storage boxes and some useless objects scattered on the floor. WV, you use glowing green rock to open cans. You pick up the nugget of uranium and, oh, that was so stupid. Why would you do that? WV, examine box of crayons. It's chalk, numbnuts. Inside the box, there are 12 pieces of chalk in every color of the 10 pieces of chalk in most colors of the rainbow. You are excited by this. WV, try to open the storage box. It's locked. There must be some sort of release mechanism for this thing. WV, examine contents of red container. The container is full of motor oil. This does not seem useful to you right now. WV, rescue that poor lightning bug. There is nothing you could do for this new little friend. Attempting to crush the amber encasing the firefly would likely cause it harm. It nevertheless bravely flashes on. You find its light alluring, inspiring. To you it seems as if it could quite easily serve as the light of democracy. WV, use the chalk to draw some roads. You sketch a handsome network of sprawling thoroughfares for your citizens to traverse. The adoring population applauds its mayor, keen instincts for city planning. You even add some lush vegetation to your city with a piece of blue chalk because you can't seem to find a more suitable color for some reason. WV, lay a chalk foundation for Cantown's civic growth. You develop westward, settling those fertile plains and claiming them for your city. You section off a number of residential and commercial zones for civic growth, arranged in the only logical pattern that occurs to you. You color the residential zones with your piece of white chalk, but for some reason, none of the colors in the box strike you as suitable for the commercial zones. Perhaps there is an alternative. WV, use your own pee for the commercial zones. You cannot urinate because you have not had anything to drink in quite some time. You are very thirsty. Also, that is a really bad idea, and you would not consider befouling your wonderful city in that way for even a moment. WV, use motor oil to designate commercial zones. You fill each empty square with a bit of motor oil to complete the zoning. It looks rather striking to you. You can hardly imagine that an up-and-coming young can trying to make it in the world would not be delighted to live in your fair district. You are very careful not to get any of the unpleasant fluid on your person. WV, peel label from can of mayo and affix to sash. WV, survey surroundings in search of more terrain for city. It seems you have run out of territory for your western expansion, but there is still a lot of empty wall space. Perhaps your citizens would be happier with the colorful backdrop that would make them feel more at home. Using most of your imagination and an entire piece of sky blue chalk, you render a beautiful and cheerful sky full of clouds. You have decided that very closely orbiting your city is a luminous planet about which orbits a single moon. You switch to another shade of blue and continue rendering on the western wall. Orbiting much further from your city are 4 planets. None of these have satellites, you have decided. Yet, yes, that makes sense, you think. On the southern wall, beyond the impenetrable veil of darkness occupying the furthest orbit yet, there is an ominous planet. A moon circles this one too. WV, check that rampaging boy on the screen. Oh yeah, it's that guy. You almost forgotten about him and his confusing shenanigans. It seems like he has things well in hand at the moment. He does not appear to need your help, and you have already concluded that he cannot help you, at least for the time being. WV, turn to the other 3 screens. You have no idea how to turn these on. There is no mouse for this weird quadra monitor computer. It can only be operated through text commands from its keyboard. Perhaps there is a special key or command which will allow you to switch to another monitor. WV, press tab. WV, consume several cans. You free the heavenly brown elixir from the jewels of pink carspes and imbibe like the wind. It is so sweet and sugary, you wonder how much sugar can fit in one can. Whatever mighty wizard concocted this potion is truly deserving of your fear and respect. I have had tab, and it tastes like butt. It is so gross. And then you spend a lot of time burping because the chemicals that they use to make it cause you to burp a lot. WV, welcome to rest into the city. The tabs are naturalized as loyal new citizens of Cantown. All cans are welcome and equal in your city regardless of can content and whether empty or full. It's not like emptying a can kills it or anything. They are just cans after all. WV, hit escape button. Have reached an impasse. Feeling refreshed and heavily caffeinated, you go back to work on the big computer. You hit escape, which seems to minimize the action window thingy and reveals a history of all the commands you have entered. Do the potted vegetable. Instead, it looks delicious. John, fill about in a distracting manner. Inspect Hag Ash incident. Do again as purple words say. Ignore the woman's antics to indulge the device, but be curt with it. You use the arrow key to scroll up a bit. You can't believe how much you've already typed into the stupid contraption. What a waste of time. Home, view, switch 2, switch 3, switch 4, switch 1, escape, lock room, 3, pass, view, reboot. You scroll all the way up to your first command. It looks like there are more commands above it. Maybe someone was entering commands on this thing before you. There aren't many, though. At the top of this list appears to be the very first command. VWV, types arrow switch 2. You activate screen 2. The signal is garbled and you have no idea what you're looking at. Some sort of filthy beggar pleading for help? No one is around and nothing is happening. You seem to be locked out of any sort of interaction with whatever's happening on this monitor. WV, switch 3. It's another one of these rascallions. This monitor is locked too. You cannot tell him what to do. Not that you really want to, since it just looks like more confusing nonsense to you. You consider switching to screen 4, but decide against it. You have a feeling that whatever's there would just confuse you even more, and you don't even really care all that much anyway. WV type arrow home. All 4 screens activate together. They display a countdown starting at 4 hours and 13 minutes. WV, type arrow reboot. You can't. Nothing is working anymore. The timer seems to have disabled the keyboard. WV, be the mayor. Enough of this nonsense. You are an important mayor, and this absurd contraption has wasted enough of your time. You've got a city to govern with a carpest fist, which is to say firm yet polished and supple as the situation demands. Anyway, this will help you kill some time while you wait for that clock to count down. WV, create employment opportunities for the citizen cans. You temporarily dismantle City Hall to free up all the can power available to create a vigilant town militia. You divide them into 2 groups, marking them with distinct teams and ranks using the piece of white chalk and the motor oil. You then organize them in phalanx across the countryside, preparing for a stiff training regime. When you are through with them, your forces will be a well-oiled machine. Chalk another one up to bold leadership. WE, lead your men to victory. You may waste more than 4 hours on this tomfoolery. WV, mourn the loss of Citizen Tab. Your caffeinated jittering must have agitated all the little bubbles curiously hidden in the liquid, creating too much pressure in the can. You speculate this is why it exploded, and you nervously eye the timer. You are starting to wonder what will happen when it reaches 0. Maybe it would be best not to be near it when this happens. Minutes in the future, though perhaps not as few as implied by circumstances. Sorry. A peregrine mendicant trottles precious cargo beneath the gleam of the celestial ominous. WV, go outside and get some sun. You say a bittersweet goodbye to your beloved city. It is time to move to greener pastures, by which, of course, you mean an arid, sandy wasteland upon which nothing green has grown in years. The door shuts behind you. A panel on the door becomes illuminated. As you ponder over the marks on the panel, you hear something mechanical. You hear another mechanical sound overhead. The LCD panel appears to have a touchscreen interface. WV curiously prod the funny-looking spirograph. Appears the funny-looking spirograph room is locked. The floor rotates a full 360 degrees beneath you, while the surrounding wall seems to stay put. WV, select the triangly fractal. The triangly fractal room does not appear to be locked. The floor turns 120 degrees and the door opens. You go through the door to find another room the same size as the other one you just wasted all that time in. While a clock was ticking down to which may or may not be your doom, maybe there's something in here that will help you escape. Against the wall, there's another perplexing contraption. Against the opposite wall is some sort of control panel which catches your eye. It has two large screens, but only one appears to be active. There are fields for numbers which appear to be modifiable with the dials to the right. Some numbers are already applied by default, perhaps entered by the previous user. There are a few buttons below the largest one bearing the symbol marking this room. Also, it looks like there is a meter stick propped up there for some reason. WV, attach your trusty knife to the meter stick. You immediately craft a measuring spear through possibly the most advanced form of alchemy employed thus far. This is obviously the most important thing to do first. Obviously. Or it would obviously be the most important thing to do if you had remembered to bring your trusty knife. You feel so insecure without your trusty knife, it makes you want to slit your wrist, or at the very least, flog your carspice with some sort of measuring apparatus. WV, look at the other wall. You examine the perplexing contraption against the room. You, of course, have no idea what it could possibly do. You adopt the only obvious course of action, which is to poke and prod it with your handy ruler. You are quite sure this is what science is all about. WV, press the triangle pattern. You go back to the control panel, which obviously controls that gizmo, and you push the big blue button, which is probably the most obvious thing to push. You purify a pumpkin. WV, examine pumpkin. It seems this mysterious gourd was purified from a specific time and location somewhere on this planet you are on. You wonder if the machine, a purifier, will take any object that exists at whatever time and location you supply. There is a symbol carved on the pumpkin. You don't know what it means, and you doubt it will ever prove to be relevant in any way. WV, devour pumpkin. You consider dining on the ripe flesh of the plump vegetable, but your curiosity about the purifier gets the better of you. You try to sneak a nibble from the pumpkin nonetheless. WV, inspect green buttons. You first examine the attractive green buttons. The icon for the one on the left is that house shape you've seen plenty of times before. The right one, closer inspection, appears to be the map for this underground facility with the X marking its center. WV, press green button on right. You push the button, all of the numbers change. Perhaps these are the coordinates for the location of the center of this facility, along with the local data and time. The local date and time. If this is the case, it would make a useful reference point for your current bearings. WV, fiddle with the dials. One way to find out would be to attempt to purify something from this facility. It should be easy to zero in on a location relative to the center because you have an uncanny knack for tracking precise distances you have already traversed in whatever units you choose. Your handy ruler gives you a good clue as to the basic unit of human measurement. You will go with that. WV, purify your trusty knife. You nudge the coordinates very slightly and bump up the elevation by 0.5 human measurement units. You make sure to keep the time approximately what it was to begin with. You purify your trusty knife. WV, purify Cantown. You nudge the numbers a bit more and purify a bunch of cans. This is so much more efficient than walking back to the other room to get them. You are to believe that time is at a premium after all. WV, purify the pumpkin. Does this machine look a depurifier? To you, honestly, the idea that a purifier could both purify and depurify things is so laughably ridiculous. You would wish someone would depurify your brain and re-purify it into it with a brain that is more smart and less dumb. WV, use trusty knife to calm spooks, schema, and pumpkin. What the hell are you talking about? That idea makes no sense at all and is basically meaningless. Try using the mushy stuff in your gourd next time. Instead, you just carve off the top exposing a decadent cachet of gorgeous seed-laden ambrosia. Needless to say, you consume all of it rather quickly, but it turns out to be too gross for us to watch. WV moves spirograph switch. You cannot move it. It has a spirograph-shaped indentation and possibly will require a special kind of key to turn it. WV, purify a firefly out of the amber. You release your blinky new friend. You will give her a name when something suitably whimsical occurs to you. WV, adjust time dial to purify rotten pumpkin. You and Serenity consider new ways to waste more time with a purifier. You are assuming she is a girl firefly, even though you are not really sure that fireflies can even be girls. You target the extremely tasty rotten pumpkin that was sitting in the other room hours ago. Ugh. It seems the purifier cannot purify something if it will create a time paradox. A gelatinous ghost pumpkin purifies and quickly dissolves into a pile of unappetizing sludge. WV, purify the grate over the entrance to the facility. Serenity blinks a message of urgency. You nearly forgot that while trapped in amber, she was witness to all your tomfoolery and dilly-dallying in the other room, and knows the timer is about to expire. It is time to get the show on the road and escape. You reset the coordinates with the right green button again, and this time only adjust the elevation by approximately 10 human measure units. WV, hasten to the exit post haste. While that's playing, I'm making water. Psych. Oh wait, on psych. You attempt the rare and highly dangerous 5 times cliffhanger combo and fail. We are doing it, man. We're making this happen. WV, ascend. Not many. An ocean westward. Many years in the past, but not many. End of Act 2. Yay! We just finished Act 2. Let's go into Act 3. Dear John. Dear John, you are no doubt reading this as a handsome and strapping young man. Why? I can't read this. I'm sorry. How I wish I could have delivered this heirloom to you in the flesh, but I am afraid it wasn't in the cards for you. See, John, like you, this book must yet take its journey. Okay, you are no doubt reading this as a handsome and strapping young man. Why the man great need to lift the book is itself a sign of your maturity, not even to speak of the wisdom needed to grasp the nuisance of Sassacre's time-tested mischief. I am so proud of you, grandson. Ah, there we go. How I wish I could have delivered this heirloom to you in the flesh, but I am afraid it wasn't in the cards for you. See, John, like you, this book must yet take a journey. Its journey will end on the final day of my life, and even then will continue some, though I suppose that will be up to your father. Perhaps he will discuss it with you one day, when he and you are ready. But it is your journey I am writing about to wish you luck. There will come a day when you will be thrust into another world, and once you arrive, that is only the beginning. You will soon delve even deeper into a realm of warring royalty in a timeless expanse, a realm of agents and exiles and consorts and colonel sprites, of toiling underlings and slumbering designs. A realm where four will gather: the here of breath, the seer of light, the night of time, and witch of space, and together they will ascend. John, if only you knew how important you were. I regret my passing came so early in your life, and yet I feel it in my heart we have already met. But what I know for sure is that we will meet again. Until then, John, I do hope your father keeps you well fed. With love, Nana. P.S. Ho ho ho! Act 3. There were 3! Egbert was his name, I'm sorry. A silly girl naps by her flowers. It is quite likely that she tired herself out with a variety of silly antics, as silly girls are often known to do. She may have a silly name too, or maybe not. It is hard to say for sure without asking her, but since she's slumbering peacefully, it would be a shame to wake her up. You might as well just give her a name right now. Enter name. Farm Stink Boop Buttlass. I guess her name is Farm Stink. You try to roust a Farm Stink from her slumber, but she is really down for the count. It looks like she is holding some sort of note. Retrieve arms from there, right there, in plain sight. Look, they are flashing red. Drop pumpkin on Farm Stink. What pumpkin? You see no pumpkin, and frankly, it is hard to imagine there ever was a pumpkin, in plain sight or otherwise. Anyways, that would be a really terrible thing to do to poor sweet Farm Stink. Read note. Farm Stink, that is incredibly silly and a little bit rude. My name is... Try again. Jade Harley. Examine room. Your name is Jade. You have just woken from a restful nap, and as usual, you have no recollection of having fallen asleep. You have quite a number of interests, so many, in fact, you have trouble keeping track of them all. Even with an assortment of colorful reminders on your fingers to help you sort out everything on your mind, nevertheless, When you spend time in your garden atrium, the only thing on your mind is your deep passion for horticulture. What will you do? Jade, play silly flute refrain. Okay, so that plays like a flute refrain that you do like on your computer. Wow, you really suck at this thing. Maybe you should try playing an instrument you actually know how to play instead, like the one in your bedroom. Honestly, you have no idea where this flute even came from. Things seem to appear and disappear around here all the time, especially to your unending charging. Any sort of large orange gourd that might be lying around. You considered throwing the flute down in disgust. Jade, Captchalog, flute. On second thought, it was a perfectly nice flute, and there is no reason to take your frustration out on it. You just need some practice, but before you Captchalog the flute, you will need to set your fetch modus first. Jade, set fetch modus. You have a wide variety of fetch modi to choose from. You were really excited when your grandpa bought you this modus set for Christmas. He is a total badass, even if a little strict. You typically opt for the memory modus when it comes to matters of day-to-day practicality. Jade, select memory. You set your modus to memory and Captchalog the flute. You allot 9 cards to the modus from your deck. Since that will be more than enough for your needs at the moment, the modus grabs 9 more cards for matching purposes. The flute is split up on 2 blank cards and mixed randomly into the grid. To retrieve the item, you must first pick 1 card and then pick its matching card. For the typical Silodexer, this modus presents a frustrating guessing game and a lot of wasted time on mismatching, but you like it because you seem to have a knack for always guessing right on the first try. Jade, squeal like a piglet and fertilize some plants. It is an awfully silly idea and is basically a waste of everyone's time. You will predictably disregard this thought and focus on more sensible objectives at once. Oh my god, this is so much fun! Ree! That's my piglet noise. You Captchalog the bag of fertilizer. Jade, consult colorful reminders. You tend to have a lot of things on your mind at once, and you can be a little forgetful, so you keep a variety of color strings on your fingers as reminders. Each one means there is something different to remember at a certain time. In fact, looking at your little index finger reminds you there is something important to remember now. It is your friend John's birthday. The green string reminds you that John's birthday package will arrive today. The blue string also reminds you that John's birthday package will arrive today. Though it will in a way that means something slightly different. You are further reminded that you have some things to do outside your house soon, but you should stop by your room first for some supplies. Most importantly, to see if John is online and wish him a happy birthday. Jade, Captchalog the pumpkin growing next to you. You snap up that pumpkin, which seems suitably ripe for the taking. Hopefully, the safety of your Silodex will prevent it from being spirited away like so many of its ephemeral predecessors. Ethereal predecessors. Jade, exit this room. You make your way to the middle of the garden atrium where a stairwell joins the 4 atrium wings. Upstairs is your grandfather's lavatory as well as your bedroom. Jade, Captchalog something. Your memory modus is hardly any fun without much stuff in it, so you decide to stock up on fresh produce to fill some more cards. You pick a juicy red crab apple. That's a happy apple. You go pick a nice looking key lime. Then a delicious mandarin orange. These are your favorite. And finally, a ripe yellow Eureka lemon. Modus fun aside, you feel it is impossible to have too many fresh fruits and vegetables on hand. Jade, go upstairs to bedroom. You almost never use the stairs. You transportalize upstairs. Just above is your room. Jade, ascend. You enter your bedroom. On this side of the room, you are immediately confronted with numerous artifacts highlighting your various interests. You are an avid follower of cartoon shows of considerable nostalgic appeal. You have a profound zeal for marvelous and fantastical fauna of a anthropomorphological persuasion. You have an uncanny knack for nuclear physics and not infrequently can be found dabbling in rather advanced gadgetry. You enjoy sporadic fits of narcolepsy. Your love of gardening transcends the glass confines of your atrium, and you are at times prone to patterns of precognitive prognostation. You considered very briefly the question, what will you do? But you quickly realize this is only one half of your room and is therefore host to only half of your interests to choose from. Jade, explore the other half of your room. Over here, there are yet more artifacts of your aforementioned interests and then some. Additionally, telltale signs of your enthusiasm for nostalgic television mingle with your assortment of game hunting firearms. You are a skilled markswoman, though your crosshairs would never settle on an innocent creature. Anthropomorphically persuaded or otherwise, your work table is littered with equipment to facilitate your tinkering. For you, experimentation is not a particular exact science, and you learn heavily on sharp intuition for constantly and eerily optimal results. Nevertheless, you have still not been able to get that borrowed flat gizmo there to work, which is a design you have borrowed from one of your grandpa's more mysterious inventions. You are a great admirer of his, and you are not alone. Your grandfather is a world-renowned explorer, naturalist, treasure hunter, archaeologist, scientist, adventurer, big game hunter, billionaire extraordinaire. He has taught you everything you know, but in spite of all of his lessons, it is still difficult to escape his stern lectures when you are on the way out of the house to run your errands. He spends most of his time in the grand foyer, stewing in his own intensity and charisma. The fourth wall. My question is, okay, so, Grandpa Harley is supposed to be, like, highly intelligent, but Jake English, I don't think Jake English made any of his, like, inventions. I think, like, Dirk might have made them all for him, and then, like, Jake sold them for Dirk. This is just my theory. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get back to the story. And today will likely be no exception. Among the errands you have planned is to venture out to find your pet and best friend named Kirill. I'm gonna just call him Beck. This animal must be fed, and he will not be happy if he is not. And if he is not happy, then you will not be happy. But first, you really should dig out your computer and say hi to John now. What will you do? Jade, quickly retrieve firearms from wall. You equipped your trusty hunting rifle. There will be hell to pay if your granddad caught you leaving the house without it. Jade, wonder why the design on your shirt changed. There isn't much to wonder, really. You left your wardrobe afire on its randomization setting. Rose. Rose. You may contemplate which shirt design you favor the most and commit to that setting in the near future. Jade, capture log near Squiddle dolls and hug it. Just before you could grab one, the powerful electromagnets concealed in their underbellies become activated, and two of them get all tangled up with each other playfully. You capture log the Tangle Buddies. Jade, lose interest in fauna and never speak of it again. Oh, but you can never do that. What marvelous creature they are. What a daring dream to combine the finest qualities of humanity with the elegance and nobility of the animal kingdom. How you wish you could know their world. To hear one night those muted paw pads trapeze up your stairs. A low but friendly growl unsettles your slumber, and as the soper seeps from your eyes, they detect a sharp pair of ears cutting moonlight. A mysterious woven tongue invites. Wouldn't these ears suit you? Would not this proud long snout assist you in the hunt? No need to answer. Words slough from the busy mind like a useless dead membrane as a more visceral sapiness takes over. Something simpler is in charge now, a force untouched by the concerns and burdens of the upright, the farcical yoke, the bipedal toe. It now drives you through the midnight brush, your paws whisking through creepers, unearthing with each bold stomp, bright odors demanding investigation. But not for long, as you and your new friend must claim the night with piercing howls moonward. You eat a weird bug and don't even care. Jade, you're a furry. Jade, pick up your toys. Speaking of which, you pick up and admire one of your manthro chaps. They are wonderful friends and are always cheerful and pleasant fellows. Why, dear Mr. Coxcomb, however will you be received at the barnyard gala without the trappings of a proper gentleman? Each manthro chap comes with a number of accessories, including articles of formal attire, a vaccination kit, and a dishwasher-safe slop trough. Jade, organize all your dolls. You gather all your dolls into a rather cozy-looking pile. Jade, change wardrobe fire setting. You deactivate the wardrobe fire's randomization mode and set it to cycle through these three shirt designs. The decision was tough, but you think you've come to the best possible conclusion. What's this gonna take? Oh, pick Jade's shirt. It looks like Adam went up. Jade, look out window. It is another beautiful day in your neighborhood. It is peaceful and quiet as usual. A rather imposing volcano looms over your house, which has been inactive for centuries. Though dormant on the surface, the volcano activity deep underground provides your house with a source of geothermal power. You are not sure why your grandfather decided to draw from this source of energy when he had the unlimited power of the atom at his disposal, but it has been this way for as long as you could remember. You have chalked it up to your family's long-standing propensity for electrical fursuits? For electrical fursuits? Wait, you mean pursuits. Jade, retrieve fursuit from magic chest. What is this nonsense about fursuits? You do not know own a fursuit. You think anthropomorphic fauna are really cute and enchanting and all, but it has never occurred to you to dress as one. Sure, it is fun to imagine what it would be like to run wild with a pack of wolves or purr and frolic with a litter of kittens, but dressing up as an animal just seems ridiculous. It would still just be a silly girl draped in a ragged synthetic tufty piece of crap, and seriously, who are you trying to kid with that sort of baloney? Anyways, it's not a magic chest, it is your gadget chest, which you have adapted for sorting a number of useful gizmos in. It was once your oracle's trunk, a gift from your grandfather, of course, and still contains many silly fortune-telling knickknacks, all of which are completely bogus. Jade, open chest. Among the fortune-telling knickknacks are these items: a crystal ball plus compulsory velvet pillow, a tarot deck, a magic 8-ball, a magic cue ball, and one of your favorite books of all time, Problem Seuss. But the useful gizmos are, of course, your computer, which you keep inside a fun lunchbox for easy transport, and a couple of gizmos you keep handy so you don't always have to make the long trip to the kitchen. There is a cookalizer for preparing delicious meals and a refrigerator, a name which clearly is a wacky variation on the much more common household item, the refrigerator. Jade, examine magic 8-ball and magic cue ball. These things are stupid and useless. When the magic 8-ball isn't being frustratingly ambiguous, its forecast is always wrong. You have tested it numerous times with certain facts you know to be true. This is its reply when you ask if it is your friend John's birthday today. See, stupid. You guess maybe it could be used as a reverse prediction device and always trust the opposite of what it says, but that seems dumb to you. And anyway, the thing gives you a bad vibe. You might consider smashing it, but you are a little suspicious about whatever ominous consequences that might have, even if the occult talisman is in question is a cheap piece of garbage. The magic 8-ball, on the other hand, is said to make predictions with alarming precision and specificity. Unfortunately, it lacks a portal on its surface that allows you to view the prediction. You put both of these pieces of junk back in the box. Jade, capsulog refrigerator. You take the refrigerator. You might as well grab the cookalizer too. The cookalizer too. No portable kitchen is complete without it. You take your lunch top too, because obviously you're going to be using that pretty soon. Whoops, there goes your flute, but who cares? Jade, feed your friend. Before you go out to feed Beck, you will need to prepare a meal for him. You clear some space on your work table so you could set up your refrigerator and cookalizer. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. What's his name? Mo? Just for fun, Jade allows you to take a stab at matching the cards on the gizmo. It doesn't present much of a challenge for her, so she figures she might as well step aside while providing a few generous hints. No. Warmer, cooler, cold, warmer. Yes, no, cold, ice cold, warmer. You have selected the key lime. Way to go. Hot. Wait, no. Cold. Really cold. Frozen fucking tundra. Congratulations. You advance your matching skills to the new level, Yukon Hero, Legacy of the Frostbite Amputee. Jade is beginning to regret breaking the fourth wall for this little device escapade. Okay, one more time. If it were known in advance how terrible you were going to be at this matching game, the author may have given second thought to preparing this cool interactive Flash application. Look at all these fruits on the loose. Good luck trying to settle them down. You just deploy the gadgets yourself. Jade, stick fruits in the refrigerator to keep them fresh. These fruits are unlikely to become less impudent anytime soon, regardless of where they are stored, but you stick them in there anyway. You take a look at the refrigerator's rotary interface. You wonder what he is in the mood for today. Press the stake button. Oh well, it's a rotary dial, so there are no buttons to press, but whatever, that doesn't really matter. You dial up a thick T-bone steak, which you are sure Beck is in the mood for because he is in the mood for steak every day and is never in the mood for anything else. But he does like his steak well cooked. Jade, lightly irradiate steak. He does prefer his steak rare after all. But you will not dignify the thought of turning the knob much further because you are not retarded. You capsulog the irradiated steak and save it for your trip outside. You probably shouldn't waste much more time. You wouldn't want all those nice depleted steak isotopes to settle down. Jade, examine the atomic base by your bed. You wouldn't exactly call it an atomic base, but it is heavily customized to accommodate a high level of music versatility. The perfect instrument for the electronically spirited. You've turned the strings way down, of course, because your stumpy arms can't reach the low notes. You switch your electronic bass to its advanced setting, but you promptly switch it back since obviously it's too complicated to play it in person like this. The default setting is your preferred mode for casual jamming. And since you can't possibly waste enough time playing music, casually jam is exactly what you're going to do. Jade, play a hauntingly relaxing bass line. Jade, capture log base. You take the portable amp from the wall socket too. Jade, open lunchtop. You like to make yourself comfy in your plushy pile before getting down to business with your computer. Jade, get down to business. Jade, activate poster chum. Hey, look. Hey, look, John is online. Hooray. And it also looks like Dave pestered. Hey, look, John is online. Hooray. Also, it looks like Dave pestered you about something yesterday, but you missed it. Jade, pester John. You greet John, but he does not respond. He is undoubtedly gallivanting around his house in a state of barely restrained birthday mirth. He may also be retrieving the 2 packages and the 2 envelopes, which you are certain came in the mail for him earlier. You will wait a little while and see if he returns before you head out. Jade, see if Dave left you a sweet new wrap. It does not appear so, but you just never know with that crazy and cool guy. So cool. Hey, oh, you're asleep again, aren't you? Or do you even know if you are? I still don't know how that works. Carcat. Okay, turn to Godhead began pestering garden gnostics. Hey, oh, you're asleep, aren't you? Or do you even know if you are? I still don't know how that works. It's like nothing means anything. It's so cool getting hella chumped by your coitish damn riddles all the time. I don't know why I believe anything you say. I'm like the Grand Marshal of gross chumpage, waving around my faggoty chumpductor baton. Assistant Director of Chumpography, celebrated author Ernest Chumpingway. Wait, week. Chumpleliskin. Wait. Chumple dipshit. Yeah, you're asleep. Y/N. A/S/L. S equals species. Baboon, kangaroo, rat. If kangaroo, rat, you have twice, please. Okay, you're not saying anything, so I guess whether you're not awake or unasleep or whatever, you're not around and I'm wasting good material. Even worse, I'm wasting a killer persona here. Like, I don't know, like, a wide open V-shaped leotard and a fuck ton of body paint. Like, some, like, snewy back arcing Circa del Sol looking motherfucker. Always low to the ground, getting a good prowl on. Like, I dropped my keys in the dark, nimblest son of a bitch who had the gumptation to glue a nasty pair of latex cat lips to his face, for a reason that wasn't a joke. Jade, hey, where are you? Seriously, I'm sitting here tonight with a fucking bag of kibble jacked open on my lap and primed for goddamn bear. And you're gone. By the way, my name is Akawait Permusk. Hardest buttock in the jungle. Tempered steel. Hey, yeah, just wanted to give you this remix I finished here. Turncheck Godhead Senate Garden Gnostics file explorer remix.mp3. So yeah, You don't have to respond to any of that, by the way. I'll probably forget half the shit I said anyway. Talk to you tomorrow. Jade, open fresh jams. You open fresh jams and add Dave's remix to the playlist. Okay, so like this, when you view it on the website, it lets you choose like the song. I'm gonna see if I could find the Explorer remix real quick. Sorry. Homestuck. Explore remix. Okay. This is the remix. That's all I wanted to show. Wrong button. Okay. Jade, open up Echidna and go to mspaintadventures.com. GT boggle vacantly at these shenanigans. It begins to dawn on you that everything you just did may have been a colossal waste of time and intermission. You open your web browser and visit MSPA. You navigate to a random page in the middle of the latest epic. Looks like he was just finishing up some sort of weird tangible intermission here. Whatever it was, it clearly advanced the plot in no relevant way whatsoever. And intermission. The Midnight Crew. Diamond Seed, Club's Juice, Hot Sports Car, Spade Slip, Casino, The Felt, The Midnight Crew. You killed a little time, but still no sign of John. Jade, pester Dave. Hey Dave, hey sup. Garden Gnostics began pestering Turntech Godhead. Hey, hi Dave. Hey sup. Not much sup with you, bro. Hee hee. Good one. It's alright being chill, I guess. You know how it goes. Great. Feeling cool today, Mr. Cool Guy? Oh man, you know it. So cool. You know, shit is ice cold up in here. Shit is wicked bananas, I'm telling you. Smiley face. So, have you talked to John today? Yeah, we were just talking a while ago, and about how he sucks at his Celodex. Can you believe he still uses stack? That kid is ridiculous. Well, That doesn't sound like much fun. I think we've read this one. Yep. Boop. Dave, strive. Yay, finally Dave again. I love Dave. Not in like a weird way, he's like my favorite character. There it is. Round 1, strife. Rose is online. Jade, Pester Rose. I require a font of frighteningly accurate yet infuriatingly non-specific information. Do you know where I can find a wellspring of this sort? Haha, yes? Okay, but we can't talk for long. Do you have plans? Well, yes, I do, but it's just that you will lose your internet connection soon, and we won't talk again for a pretty long time. Not until you enter. Enter? Yeah, this is what I am talking about. This was the itch that needed scratching. My avarice for the indestructible. It is limitless. Hello? What did you want to know? You've been insisting today was the big day. We will all play a game you didn't know the name of. A game you said I'd get in the mail and did. One that would help me answer some questions. But Strider is being obtuse. I can't catch John at his computer. You don't even have the game yourself. And on top of all that, my internet is unstable. So are you sure today is the day? There sure are a lot of challenges, but yes, I am sure. Dave is cool. You know he will come around when the time is right. He just has a lot of work to do first, and so do you. You'll need to keep searching for a stable signal and power source. It will be hard, but don't give up. And don't worry about me either. Focus on playing with John first. It all starts with you two. Is there nothing else you could say to prepare me for this? I am sure you think a little of blissfully upsetting dark forces with Grandpa Moreau over there on the Hell Murder Island, but honestly, I've only read a few books on it. Huh? Dark, that's ridiculous. I don't really know what to tell you other than it's not going to be what you think it is. And most importantly, you will have your questions answered, but they will be the ones you haven't thought to ask yet. Just be patient and be brave. You'll see. It will be fun. Oh. Uh-oh, looks like you've got to go. Take care, Rose. Tentacle therapist cease pestering garden gnoxtis. Jade, be the other girl. You are now the other girl. Several hours in the future, it appears a secret passage in the mausoleum has been opened. It's getting awfully toasty in here. You gather up your belongings, including your dead cat. Rose, descend. Jade, stop being the other girl and pester John again. You've spent enough time for now concerning yourself with the future of your friends. John will not be available until later, but then he will have his hands full, as will you. You pack up your lunch top and get ready to take care of some business downstairs. Jade, descend. Right. Try as you might, you can't stop your mind from drifting to the fate of your friends. You dwell on a particular configuration of reminders on your finger. Also in the future, but many years, not hours. Under bare white branches, a century awakens. Yum, yum, yum. Oh my god, no, Rose. Wow. Oh my god, that's horrible. Some stuff about CAPTCHA codes and punch card alchemy. God, this is gonna be fun. Let me plug my thingy in. Okay. Is anyone actually reading any of this, or are they all dead? I don't know if anyone besides us is even alive and playing the game, or if anybody even really cares what we have to say. Rose said I should add some stuff to this FAQ if anything occurred to me, so I guess I'm doing that. I figured at the very least it will be good reference. Good reference for just us to use, but Dave probably won't read any of this because he's sort of this whopping stupid horse, but whatever. I finally figured out what those weird codes on the back of the capture log cards are for. Well, maybe not what they're always for, but a way that Spurb has exploited them for in-game purpose. So this is John. Every captured item stamps the card with a unique code and a gizmo and Spurb called the Punch Design X will punch a unique pattern of holes in a card which is derived from that code. The punched card can then be used with another gizmo to duplicate the item or combine it with another item. I got to thinking about this, and with my amazing hacker skills, I noticed a trend. The whole pattern is based on a fairly simple cipher converting the captcha code to binary, and then the binary pattern is punched where 1 is a punched hole and 0 is an unpunched slot. So here's the table just to be clear. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that. That's the table. There are a couple oddball characters. One are exclamation point and question mark at the end to bring it up to 63. 0 through 63 equals 64 total, i.e. 6 bits. Because the binary representation of the CAPTCHA code characters are 6 bits each, which have a range of 0 to 63. So, for instance, the CAPTCHA code for the hammer is N, capital Z, 7, capital U, lowercase n, 6 capital B, capital I. Look up the index for N first, which is 49. The binary of 49 is 110001. Keep doing that for all the characters and you get all this. Okay, that's the pattern that will be punched on the card, but the bits are arranged top to bottom, left to right in 4 columns like this. Are punched on the card like this. Wow, okay, that pretty much looks like shit, but you get the idea. So to combine 2 items, you just overlap 2 punch cards only. The places where both cards have a hole will show through. So it's sort of like a bitwise and operation on both cards. The new pattern gives you the code for the new item. For instance, combining the code for a hammer and pogo ride gives you a new code with less holes, obviously, which translates to 12, 126, capital G, capital H, 48, capital G. That whole pattern went on to make the pogo hammer, which is so rad you have no idea. I've also wonder if you can combine items in other ways, like a bitwise, or that means for every hole on either card, this pattern would be accomplished by double punching a card, like 2 codes, 1 card. I've got to try that sometime. But there are some mysterious things about all this. First of all, with all the hole slots, there are 48 bits in total, which means there are almost 3 trillion possible codes, and 3 trillion sounds huge, but when you consider it is supposed to account for all conceivable items, including all the wacky combinations of stuff, it suddenly doesn't seem that big. This leads me to believe that not every combination of item has a viable duplicate, but this is kind of obvious anyway, since there are many combinations of punch cards that will produce either a blank card with or a totally punch card with, or so there are lots of DUD combinations out there, and or dud combinations out there, and many that will just lead to the same pattern. Like, for instance, a gun and a atom bomb could make some sort of ultimate death ray, but for that matter, a shoehorn and a potted plant could lead to the exact same pattern. So weird. Also, it seems like combined items will always have patterns with either much fewer holes or more holes than more ordinary items, which will occupy the vast, meaty middle of all possible patterns. It is strange and counterintuitive that more complex objects have simpler patterns, but hey, there you have it. But all this sort of makes me guess the system can be cracked in some way. Like, if you have a complicated item that you want to extract simpler item components from, there might be some algorithm for deriving the pattern you want, or at least narrowing down the possibilities. There might also be ways of charting through the simpler patterns on both ends of the bit spectrum and pinning down the ones that will make cooler stuff. Who knows? I want to ask Jade about this because she's really good at this sort of thing. Somehow, even though she doesn't have my elite hacker cred. Too bad. She makes herself so scarce all the time. Jade, if you ever read this, let me know what you think. Slime ghost. Boop, boop, boop. Skynet. You enter the laboratory. Rose, look for mad scientists. There are no scientists to be found, mad or otherwise, or anyone for that matter. The lab appears to be deserted. There is a kiosk, though. It looks like the kiosk monitors the lab's enormous hub grid. Jade, transportalize as far down as you could go. This is as far down as you could go. The Grand Foyer is still a few floors down, but the transportalizer on that level is blocked by one of Grandpa's impressive big game trophies, and you just don't think you would cotton to someone moving it. Speaking of which, here are some of his trophies now. He has 1 million of these ghastly things. You really dislike them. Jade, proceed. You hop down a level. Granddad also likes to accumulate valiant knights from his travels. These are pretty cool, you guess. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Keep going. Loading. Jade, keep going. Oh yeah, how could you forget about his stash of decrepit mummies? God, you hate these things. Jade, don't stop. Don't stop believing. Hold on to this feeling. This is your grandfather's collection of what he refers to his beauties. No lovely lady will be fit for his collection unless her portrait has spent at least 20 years bleaching in the front window of a beauty parlor, a sort of establishment he's plundered no less frequently than ancient tombs. You guess they are sort of like your sisters while growing up, and you were always encouraged to look up to them. They are all awfully pretty ladies, you suppose, but it was always hard to get as excited about them as Grandpa. Jade, study hard and keep your rifle at the ready. When adventure summons, I know you will rise to the task and take your rightful place among the daughters of Electra. The old coot sure is a bag of wind. Jade, complete your descent. You reach the ground level. This is the stupid thing blocking the transportalizer. It is unspeakably hideous. Down the southeast hall is the Grand Foyer. You'll have to cross through it to leave the house. Looks like someone is pestering you, even though you thought you logged off. Jade, answer. Come on. A carcinogeneticist began trolling Guardian Gnostics. Hi again, idiot. Oh no. So I guess today is finally the day you fuck everything up. Sad face. Is there nothing I can do to change your mind? You could leave me alone. How can you even be talking to me after I blocked you and after I logged off? You don't get that I am better and smarter than you in every way forever. You don't get that because you are incredibly stupid. I get that you're a jerk and you should shut up. Goodbye, you jerk. Guardian Gnostics blacked carcinogeneticist. Rose, look at that kiosk. Looks like a mapping of each hub's index. It appears one of the hubs was recently unlocked. Rose, go to the center and do a goofy dance. The center. You find a little stage that looks perfect for supporting a spectacularly silly dance, or it would, if standing on it didn't make you a little nervous, and also that didn't sound like a retarded idea given the circumstances. It looks sort of like the various contraptions you've been deploying in John's house. You wonder what it does. Rose, attempt to plug a laptop into a nearby hub. Great, you just vaporized your dead cat. Well, ashes to ashes, you guess. There's got to be a better way to deal with this lousy tree. Rose, examine fetch modus. Looks like you can choose between picking leaves or awkwardly uprooting the whole tree as you've been doing. You select leaf. You also turn off auto balance since its consequences can be a little mystifying sometimes. Oh no! Boop. You gather up all your items again in an order that places your laptop in a conveniently accessible leaf. You're not sure why you didn't do this a lot sooner. Kind of a funny looking tree now but your concern for structural elegance is at an all-time low. Rose, find the unlocked hub. As long as you're going to plug in your computer, you might as well find that hub. Here it is, hub SN_lab 0413. It is unlocked and thus removable from the grid. You suspect this was the same beacon transmitting the unsecure signal you were using earlier. You pick the laptop leaf from the tree. You plug your laptop into the hub, then capture log the hub and then the laptop. There must be a better place around here to set up your computer. This huge grid of electronics is sort of uninviting. You look around. Hey, what's that? It's another one of those ominous countdowns. You didn't notice it at first. Notice it when you first entered the lab about a minute ago. It looks like this one may have been ticking for years. Whatever it's ticking down to, there isn't much time. You can only hope that when you turn on your computer again, there will be a connection invitation from one Mr. Strider. Again in the future. Oh, go back. Another timer winds down sideways. Dave absconded. There's no abscond. Can't abscond, bro. Stress. I warned you about the stairs, bro. I told you, dog. I warned you about the stairs, bro. I told you, dog. It keeps happening. What does? You don't have time to humor every random thought that pops into your head. The clock is ticking. Rose, look around for anything else of importance. This looks like something of importance. It appears to be SkyNet's primary session terminal, monitoring a great number of SPURB sessions in the northeastern United States and parts of Canada. Upon further investigation, you draw some logical conclusions. It looks like each session consists of an IP address and a physical location. The colored dots on the map appear to be meteor impact sites. It seems each session corresponds with a meteor, but not all meteors have sessions. The color on the dot appears to indicate the status of the meteor's descent. The red dots indicate meteors that have already landed. Yellow dots are immediate collisions. Green will impact later, and blue will take the longest to touch down. You use the panel to center on your present location and zoom in. Surrounding the lab are, of course, the hundreds of smaller meteors that have been raining down steadily throughout the evening. Most of these meteorites have either landed already or will shortly. Centered over the lab is a significantly larger immediate collision. You can't say precisely how immediate, but you could certainly take an educated stab at it. Just southwest of the lab, centered suspiciously near the location of your house, is an even larger looming collision, though this one appears slightly less imminent. The terminal looks like it can monitor any meteor or session around the world. Search filters can be applied as well, restricting results based on size, time of impact, location, and so on. You zoom way out and narrow the search based on size. The two at the top of the list appear to be the biggest by far. You examine only their coordinates. The second biggest is centered over a U.S. city. The biggest by a landslide is, luckily for the Earth, you suppose, way out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Rose, turn on your laptop and check on John. You plug the laptop into the hub again and turn it on. It is now powered and connected to the wireless signal the hub is broadcasting. Your SPURB session reconnects. No sign of John here. You wonder why the house is shaking. Last time you saw him, he was on the roof platforms. You will have to navigate via the SPURB interface to find him. Rose, ascend. John, high five, Nanoquid. Good work, John. Oh, hey, you're back. For now, I'll have to leave again shortly. It looks like there's another large meteor heading for my present location. Oh, so you mean Dave connected with you? No, not yet. I'll explain later, but I think I've determined that activating the timer in the game is not directly responsible for summoning a meteor to your location. The countdown seems merely to exist as a kind of warning to the player, as well as a strange coincidence. Okay. I don't really think I get it. Is this relevant? Probably not at the moment, and certainly not to you. I have to go. Okay, later. P.S. Try not to waste too much of that grist while I'm gone. John, climb the ladder. You rocket up the ladder to the dazzling heights of the vaunted boy Skylark. Rung, your new feather is hard-earned and well-deserved and alarmingly fashionable. John, collect fat loots. You and your ceramic pork hollow rejoice in the mound of wealth yielded from your meteoric ascent up the ladder. You are still not sure what all these boon dollars can actually get you, but when pulling in such insane loot hand over fist like this, who cares? Not you. John, pick up as much grist as you can hold. Your expanded cash limit is more than enough to accommodate the grist windfall. You gather up 2,260 pieces of bilge grist, 1,040 pieces of shale, 490 drops of tar, and 350 drops of mercury. You can't wait to find out what amazing items this new supply of grist will be just barely insufficient to produce. Oh god, there's grist littered down there too. Those stupid ogres were like huge grist pinatas. One of those big sour grape electric Holocaust fruit gushers is jammed in the hole in the platform. You guess there's only one way to get it. Nana's bright. John, don't you forget your book. It is your birthright. You ought to give it to a read when you have a moment, particularly the first several pages. Okay, Nana, I will. Hey, Nana, yes, dear? Since I'm trying to get up to that gate, and since you can just sort of conjure floating beds and throw me around and all, couldn't you just throw me up the gate? Oh, yes, of course, John. But that would not serve your purpose well. There is a very good reason why you should build up to it and then keep building. Oh, okay, I guess that's what I figured. So, just one more thing. Do you think that instead of telling me exactly why that is with a clear explanation, you could give me a series of really coy riddles about it and then sort of giggle? John, you are a very fresh young man. Your father has done such a wonderful job raising you. I am so proud of you both. Haha, I guess. When you pass through the first gate, everything will change. You will find a place where the constellation stands beneath the clouds, and then your true work may begin. Ho ho ho! I suddenly understand everything. Elsewhere we find a place where a kingdom lies entrenched beyond the impenetrable veil of darkness. Book. Graveyard stuffers. You are now the peregrine mendicant. You are flying westward in your peculiar mobile station. You have no sense of your bearings presently. The door is blocked by a metal column which extended through the entry shaft before liftoff. What will you do? PM, check mail. Dr. Brainer. Dr. David Brainer. This message to Dr. Brainer looks pretty serious. PM, open envelope. Never. The mail is sacred, and sacred is the trust between the postman and the recipients of his precious parcels. You have made a solemn pledge to deliver this letter to the doctor just as soon as you determine where this address is, or find any sort of discernible mailing address in this wasteland, for that matter. The mail is freedom. The mail is life. The mail is the very fabric of civilized... Wait, hold on. Hold that thought for one moment. The mail is the one final hope for resurrecting a dead planet from its ashes, and the letter carriers are the brave soldiers of God in this righteous crusade. They are the defenders of the light of knowledge, free communication, and the exchange of ideas. They are bold toters of all those little papery conduits of freedom, the white postmark angels that whisper a message to their deliverance and promise to the yearning. There is hope yet. Liberty, reason, justice, civility, edification, purification, mail. Also, I want to say hello to anybody who is like popping up in chat or popping up on stream. I can't see my chat and everything. I hope you all are having an awesome day. I don't even know how long I've been reading this either. PM, examine keyboard and screen. It's the terminal you use to activate the station's homing mechanism. It looks like it has now returned control to you. The default viewport displays commands previously entered, including your last and only command at arrow home. PM, type arrow view. You type another one of the previously entered commands. It switches to the view of a young girl standing alone somewhere. There is a heavy amount of video interference of some sort. The girl seems familiar to you. Greetings. Don't I know you? Kabooey. Rose refused to acknowledge the absurd tea set. You successfully disregard the tea set because it's stupid and shouldn't be in a place like this. You probe further into the lab. Looks like a little girl's room. This all strikes you as a bit odd. No time for messing around in here, though. Rose, wear the scarf. Be the writer. Okay, maybe you'll do a little messing around. You are only human after all. Ugh, what's that? What's that? It's a Kate Sith. You are accosted by a friendly mutant kitten. John, resist great urge to take the wedge shale. You know, you should grab this thing, but... You were suddenly feeling apprehensive about entering your father's room with all the scampering around. It almost slipped your mind how much you hate his hideous clowns. No use putting it off any longer. There is only one thing left to do. Give me a D. Give me an E. Give me an S. Give me a C. John, jump down. Jade, scamper into grand foyer with wild abandon. Scamper. You scamper your heart out and bump into something. You don't know why he always insists on keeping it so dark in here. Oh, look, it was one of his dome globes. These things make it awfully difficult to navigate the foyer. We get it, Granddad. You like to travel around the world, going on adventures and stuff. Lousy, goddamn stupid globes. Jade, arm yourself. Grandpa will surely have stern words for you if he catches you without your trusty rifle at the ready. That's just what you need. Another one of his blustering, mustachioed diatribes. You are rolling your eyes in advance, getting them warmed up. But ideally, you could evade him altogether. All you have to do is get past the fireplace and out the front door, and you will be scot-free. Jade, examine those chaps on the sofa. These are the manners for distinguished house guests. They like to gather here by the fireplace for tea time, as well as pretty much all other times. It's all very mannerly and civilized. You know exactly what's going to happen when you try to sneak by. The fireplace is going to light up and your grandpa's silhouette is going to appear in front of the fire to give you a good spook. He is so predictable. And here he goes. The old man has the flame. You suppose you could still manage to sneak by the crafty old man if you were fast enough. Avoiding any encounter would be ideal. Encounters with him are usually intense. Jade leaped dramatically across the divide. Whoops, you guess an encounter with him is almost certain now, but most likely not for a while. Time to see what's up. What someone else is up to. Oh, let's say Dave. Strife. Yes, I am going out with this gun. No, I will not go get a bigger one. No, I will not take yours. I cannot even lift it. Oh, this is preposterous. Do you even hear what you're saying? I will be fine. This is a perfectly deadly gun and it shoots lots of incredibly deadly bullets. Oh, will you just stop it? I am going now. Goodbye. Heart. Jade, abscond. He was so much easier to deal with when he was alive. PM, miraculously survive. PM, peer out explosion hole. Explosion. Nom 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 nom. Rose, refer to acknowledge the absurd kitten. You fail miserably. Oh look, there's some more mad science crap over here. Rose, insert coin. This weird arcade gizmo, adapt to this setup obviously doesn't take coins anymore, assuming it ever did. Besides, you left all your coins on the fridge, remember? Rose, let's play a game. This doesn't appear to be a game. It appears to be a purifier. Rose, screw around with the purifier. You mess with the controls. Hey, Jaspers is alive, or at least he was in the past. According to the timestamp, this was almost 9 years ago. You tried to move the crosshairs with the joystick, but it seems to be permanently locked on a specific target. You might be able to unlock it, but you clearly don't have much time to horse around with this thing. You zoom in. Oh, it looks like you and Jaspers are having one of your sessions. You weren't making a lot of progress though, because Jasper was no doubt being characteristically recalcitrant. You possibly jotted this phase down in your pad. It's hard to remember though. Wait, could it be this day? Rose! Cause time paradox. Paradoxify. You appear to attempt to purify Jaspers. This would surely cause a time paradox because you can plainly see that he has not told you his secret yet, but it seems the machine has a safety mechanism to prevent such irresponsible purification practices. The paradox ghost imprint of Jaspers purifies instead and quickly settles into a mound of sludge. The machine, besides it, sucks up the paradox sludge and begins some kind of automated procedure. It seems whatever sort of primordial biochemical properties the sludge possesses is beyond being evaluated by the device. The device generates a fetal paradox clone of Jasper's. The wretched creature exhibits a number of unfortunate mutations, though. The good news is that it will be mercifully unestablished along with this facility shortly. This is also the bad news. Whoever was operating this machine in the past may have been making unsuccessful attempts to perfect the science of ectobiology. Rose, have a flashback. There's no need for a flashback. Conveniently, you can watch what happened right here on the monitor. You roll the clock forward a few seconds. Jasper reveals a stunning secret to you in strict confidence. Before you could ask him to clarify, he vanished into thin air. You now believe you understand why. However, you were not the one to purify him from this moment. Your hand was nowhere near the controls just now. A couple weeks after he vanished, his body washed up along the riverbank. His suit was a mess. Your mother fitted him with a new one just before the absurd funeral service she insisted upon. Rose, trace Jasper's whereabouts on the machine. You roll the clock forward to a week after he vanished. It seems there is no accessible feed tracing his whereabouts during that time frame. You fast forward another week. There he is, just as you found him. Rose, fast forward to now. Meow. Jaspers, he's alive. Okay, he's still dead, but his body's intact. Turns out it wasn't some sort of disengratificator, like you thought. It's more like an escapalizer. Rose, purify Jaspers immediately. Good thing you finally got all that sorted out. You only have 10 seconds to spare. Time to stash the dead cat in Amsgray. Rose, stop fooling around and transportalize out of there. Pretty decent escapalization. Jade, locate and feed the devil beast you call a pet. Good luck finding him. If he wants to be found, he will find you. Beck has always managed to elude your prognostication facilities. He is completely invisible to your intuition, somehow a property almost totally unique to him. It used to freak you out a little, but you have long since grown accustomed to it. Doggo. Huh? Oh, it was nothing at all. Moving right along. Jade, retrieve the package you expected to arrive. The birthday package you were expecting from John arrived months late, and yet right on time. It landed over there past the crumbling monument, a satellite to the great mystic ruins at the center of the crater lagoon. John, triple somersault into your room, etc. Stick the landing. Okay, you do that, and you're now in your dad's room. Where are all the clowns? You spot your dad's briefcase beside you. It probably contains all sorts of clues of at least various forms and paperwork critical to his trade as a hilarious street performer. John Snoop. Yeah, here come the secrets. Get ready for the major reveal. Wait a minute. These are just boring business documents and spreadsheets. What the hell is going on here? John, examine your dad's room. Kind of a boring room. Just a businessman. Not all that into clowns. Most shocking twist yet. Who's this douchebag? John, calm down. It will be alright. So all these years while you believed he was just busking up the corners with hilarious antics, he was working as an ordinary businessman all along. He was just a man trying to make a good, honest living for his son. Maybe he was too embarrassed to tell you the truth, or maybe it was just that you never bothered to ask. You guess you always just assumed. The human prisoner has broken out of his jail cell yet again. Attempts to block the cell door with heavy objects have proven futile. You are going to need a bigger safe. Who's this guy? Enter name. Spade Slick. Spade Slick. Got a nice ring to it, but you know your own name, and that damn well ain't your name. Take another stab at it. Okay. State, name, and rank. You are Archagent Jack Noir. You oversee various affairs of a dark kingdom. Presently, you are determining how to deal with this prisoner, who has been a thorn in your side since he was apprehended. You view the affairs of the kingdom through a series of fenestrated walls. You have 3 walls, nearly enough to form a cubicle of vigilance, which is a full and proper enclosure for an agent of your stature. However, much to your utter contempt, your 4th wall was stolen some time ago. Jack Don comical hat. This frivolous headdress turns your stomach. You'd sooner stick your head in a furnace than coax it into this monstrosity's loathsome, colorful maw. It's bad enough that your exalted ruler ordered everyone to drape themselves in these hideous rags the moment the troublesome human with the pipe and his child showed up. But you draw the line at the hat. Jack, call a minion. You order one of your burliest agents to the scene. He brings something heavier this time. Your transmission is interrupted. It seems your glorious monarch has concerns over your wardrobe. Fine, you begrudgingly don the comical hat. Stupid, lousy, wise, and just leader. What a royal pain in the ass. Jack, throw hat down in disgust. You fully intend to once your superior stops breathing down your neck for a second. Wait, what now? Your blood is boiling so hot you could cook an egg on your car space. Looks like you'll have to handle this yourself. John, investigate room for anything Dad may have left behind. It seems there are some unopened birthday present which Dad didn't get around to giving you yet. John, present time, open a present, see what's inside. Fetch Modus control deck. It's one of the inventory management system. Incredible Silodex behavioral conglomeration at your fingertips. Bonus, capture log pack, and fetch modus inside. It seems the one on the right seems promising. You open it and see what's inside, and oh god, yes. John, obtain sweet loot. You tear into this thing and put a mean peep on the sweet loot. In addition to the modus control deck, you get a bonus, a rare fetch modus, plus another 12 cards, which are practically worthless at this point, but hey, you'll take them. First thing to do is flush the extra cards into your deck. Okay, really? This is just way too many cards. John, equipped array fetch modus. The array modus allows you to store and retrieve any item from any card at any time. It seems exceptionally serviceable, a bit difficult to weaponize. Boring. John, read instructions for control deck. There's nothing to read really. You just pop some modus cards in the slot, fire it up, and see what happens. You start by putting the stack and queue modi in the slots. Your Silodex now behaves like both a stack and a queue. Items can be removed from either the top card or the bottom card. You see no reason at all not to jam the array cartridge in there too. You make sure to blow the dust out first, of course. The Silodex reconfigures itself into an array of distinct queue stacks. Now we're talking. This is just the sort of needless complexity you have come to expect from your inventory management system. John, unwrap the smallest present first. You have a staunch policy of always saving the biggest presents for last. Always. You receive a box of delicious fruit gushers. Could this birthday get any better? You don't think so. John, open the big one. You thought wrong. John, fill up an entire queue stack with shoes. Awesome. Queue stacks, full house. John, capture log fruit gushers. Dang, you spaced out and you put it in the wrong queue stack. Don't worry, you'll get the hang of this thing. John, closely inspect fruit gushers box. So delicious. You can't wait to capsulog one of these packs and make like a million gushers. Screw all this building nonsense. You rather make candy. Wait a minute. It can't be. It can't be. The heinous Betteridge has gnawed her claws in everything. What do gushers have to do with baked goods anyways? How does this make sense? Why? Why? John, mental breakdown. Cool fructose sweetness. Wicked watermelon drying injury. Social anxiety disorder. Wow. Oh my god, ectofacial. Oh my god. This is stupid. I'm gonna play this again just because, oh, never mind. Jade, retrieve package. Right. Bing! Bing! Beep. Nope. Good dog. Best friend. Good dog. What? Googly eyes. There's no kaleidoscopes right now. But they're growing trees. They did grow a tree. And John ate a blue apple from the tree. And dead. No, sleeping. Rose, check cell for any mixed atoms with cat. Nope, no mixed atoms. Looks like you and the kitty get to keep your genes to yourself. Your new kitty, whose name is, you'll think of one later. Hey, where the heck are you anyway? Rose, look around room. Oh, you're back home. The well-stocked bar and the vantage from this window tells you this is your mom's room, or at least what you thought was her room. You decide not to be especially melodramatic about this revelation. Rose, watch the meteor impact. Huh? That's funny. Shouldn't this place be unestablished by now? The downpour of smaller meteorites has stopped. Kabooey. Better get out of here. This room is a powder keg with all this booze laying around. John, get down to business. Suddenly you are feeling very businessman-like for some reason. You just punched a shitload of cards in anticipation of making a whole lot of cool stuff. This time you didn't foolishly destroy any items, you just looked at the codes for some objects that you rounded up and punched them on blank cards. You wonder how much alchemizing you can get away with before Rose gets back. As if she's got any right to tell you what to do with your hard-earned grist. You're the one running around here putting your ass on the line. All she's got to do is mess around with their computer. Anyway, you better hurry. Jade, dream. Jade bot. You are now dreaming. Your dream bot is awake and active. Jade, obliquely foreshadow future through interpretive dance. Your silly dance foreshadows nothing and is essentially meaningless, but it sure is a lot of fun. Jade, quick, get into bed. You climb into bed and try to get comfortable, but some sort of invisible force is pressing down on you, a strange feeling of cold, heavy metal. This happens every time you try to get into bed. No wonder you can never get any sleep. Jade, realize you can fly. There is not much to realize. Of course you could fly. Jade, open the package. You stop all this flying around nonsense and examine John's birthday package. Unfortunately, you cannot open it yet. This package has an important journey to make first. You are planning on delivering it momentarily. Good thing you already know what's inside, otherwise you would surely be consumed by curiosity and suspense. You sincerely pity anyone who might be forced to endure such a fate. Months in the past. Enough for the above weather to be seasonably reconcilable. Boop. Ghosty Trickster began pestering garden gnostics. Hey, happy birthday, John. Yay, thank you, John, of you. Okay, I got your present in the mail just on time, plus I sent Rose's and Dave's out. Dave's too. Why do your guys' birthday gotta be all bunched together like that? You are running me ragged. I know, but it is nice of you to think of us all like that. I can't wait for you to see what I got you. I don't want to spoil it or anything, but hopefully it will help you solve those problems you've been having lately. Mysterious wink. I'm sure it is great. I can't wait either. It might take a while to get here from there, but it will be worth the wait. Oh man, I'm such an idiot. I forgot how long it takes you to get stuff. Ugh. John, that's okay, really. I'm sure we'll get to me exactly when it needs to, and it will be a nice surprise when it does. Okay, hey, well, I hope so. Heart. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I had to tell someone to go away. Oh god, the trolls again? Yep. They have been such a pain in the ass lately. It seems like there are so many. There are either like 50 of these retards, or it's just one guy with a lot of alternate accounts. I never had any sort of feeling about them or what they want, which is kind of weird. But it seems to me like they are probably all different people and not one guy. I have counted 12. What do they want with us? Some people just like to needle others for some reason, John. It is like a game, I guess. They are like pranksters. Oh, hell no. Shitty pranksters ever. Shittiest pranksters ever. But I think they are mostly harmless. Every so often they manage to get through my block filter and hassle me. It's been going on for years, actually. Some of them are kind of funny, I think. Oh wow, what, years? Okay, well, I'm sick of them. I've been thinking of changing my pester chum handle to throw them off the trail. So I guess I'm gonna do that. John, make totems. You have already carved a few totems, but you have had to return to the living room for more Crocsite dowels. Your carving work is not nearly complete. Every time you re-enter your room, you shudder at the recent handiwork of some mischievous imps. You just can't turn your back on them for a second. Rotten imps, those posters you like were like children to you. Fool! Rose, flea room. At long last, you have returned to your bedroom with a stable power supply and internet connection. Vodka Mutini purrs at your side. You suppose you will call it Muti for short. Rose, Pester John, that's quite a totem collection. What are you planning? Oh, wow, hi, gonna make some stuff. Are you okay? Hasn't your house been on fire for like 5 hours now? No. That was the nearby forest, which up until quite recently would have been best described as on fire. But you may be excited to learn that just as recently, my house finally notched that achievement. Wow, congrats, I guess. Thank you. Have you seen Dave? Nah, his bro is probably his bro is probably busy kicking his ass. That's probably all there is to say on that matter. Oh, okay. I'm gonna to start putting this grist to use too. Let's be sparring with the frivolous knickknack breeding and focus on getting you up to the gate. Okay? Yeah. Okay. I hear you, but I think we'll have plenty. I've been killing imps all over the house, and now it's lousy with gushers. I mean grists. Serves them right for ruining my posters, the bastards. Which posters? Don't you see my sweet movie posters? Look at them. They're all fucking ruined. John? Question. Derb? Question mark? Are you suggesting that imps are responsible for defacing your movie posters? Yeah. Your posters have looked like that ever since I first saw your room. The moment we started playing this game, I thought you had defaced them ironically to mock your father's interest, John. ... Question mark? Very funny, Rose. Ha ha ha. Fool, lame kid. Nice joke, great joke there, Rose. Top of the line prank. Hee hee hee, ha ha ha. This is good. Laughter is probably the best way to avoid being especially melodramatic about the revelation. Yes, yes. Let's keep this joke going because it is such a good one. Ha 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 ha. Oh my, ha 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 ha. WV, descend. You cannot ascend from the top of your mobile. You cannot descend from the top of your mobile station. The loose cable you gathered up and tied together is not yet long enough to allow you to reach the ground safely. You have used all the cable you can find. You will have to come up with another plan. WV, sacrifice your mayoral sash for more cables. Absolutely not. What are you, crazy? The mayor does not relinquish his mayoral sash under any circumstances ever, period. WV, purify the temple. That's such a dumb idea. Not as dumb as using your sash, but it comes close. The temple is way too big. You'd probably just end up purifying a chunk of useless, boring rock. Wait, what's that? There's something dangling from the top of one of the towers near the temple. WV, command Serenity to carry the rope to you. She is a tiny insect and cannot possibly lift more than the weight of a pumpkin seed. She does, however, inform you that the ledge contains through a series of informative blanks. There is an old rusty harpoon lodged into the crumbling rock. Tied to it is a bunched up jumble of handy cable that strikes you as convenient. It is almost as if someone knew you would need a bunch of cable and that you would have a mayoral sash made out of cable, and that you were particularly attached to that mayoral sash. and would stubbornly refuse to use it. Anyone who knew that much would surely possess a special gift. Alas, it seems a bit far-fetched. WV, get ye rope. Okay, we just established it was a cable and not a rope, but that's okay. You take a hasty swig from one of your delicious ponds and put down. You then quickly adjust the coordinates to purify the jumble of handy cable. To Mr. Mayor, of course. The time wasn't set to the present moment. Somehow it got reset to a few hundred years ago. It is some sort of present from the past in the present. Attached is an envelope that looks extremely important. You open the envelope. Inside is a letter and another envelope. This is all highly confusing and you do not know what to make of it. Still, it is obviously critical mayoral business which you take very seriously, and you will defend this package with your life. WV, try to purify the cable again. You set the time to the present and purify the jumble of cable. WV, take obvious course of action. You tie all the cable together and carefully lower your precious pumpkin brindle. You then rappel down the station with the package, which must not leave your side. Years in the future, which is to say the present moment precisely. An aimless renegade prepares for company. Paratata. Rose, build as much as you can, as fast as you can. Okay, while I make some stuff here, can you keep an eye out for imps? Just keep the safe or tub handy or something. I'll serve them right for thrashing my posters. I keep telling you the posters were always like that. And I keep telling you, ha ha ha, very funny. Here, look. Sprite prototype once more with grandmother's remains. She treats John to some helpful exposition and in a friendly and grandmaternal manner. Co-player has displayed inexplainable carperous behavior since arriving, stress-related, contracted virus indigenous to realm. It should be noted he was kind of a weird guy anyway. Yeah, I saw those, but they didn't look like that before. You must have changed them. Even if I had the motive for such a bizarre and pointless deception, where would I find the time? I don't even have Photoshop. Then why didn't you tell me they were there? I had no reason to think you were not aware of them. I thought they were strange, certainly, but was not struck by any particular impulse to discuss them. Okay. It still doesn't make sense, though, implying that I drew them a while ago and then forgot and couldn't see them and now suddenly see them. That's stupid. What would that even mean? It looks like you were in your father's room recently, yes. And how did it make you feel to discover what was in there? Oh no, I just realized you were going to psychotherapify me. Well, don't bother. Maybe I'm just being a friend. Maybe I suspiciously. Anyway, I guess you saw what's in there. It's boring. There's not much to even see. That doesn't matter. What matters is how seeing it affect you. I think it clearly has in some way. Well, I don't know. At first I was nervous to go in and find more of his weird clowns because of course they are stupid and I hate them a lot. But then when I didn't see any, it was weird. I felt weirdly disappointed almost. Is it fair to say this changed your perception of your father? Yes, I guess. It is such a stretch to conclude it changed your perception of other things as well. No, maybe not, but what are you getting at? It sounds like you're saying I'm crazy. John, alchemalize. I don't think I don't like to use the word crazy. Oh god, see, this is therapy bullshit. That was a joke, but anyway, whether it means you are crazy or not, consider this theory. Your presumably long-standing tendency for scrawling this imaginary is really your subconscious trying to express something disturbing within you, possibly something from your past which you have blocked out. And since you have suppressed it, your conscious self cannot acknowledge the drawings, therefore they have been invisible until now. Why now? Perhaps because you have seen evidence that conflicts with your worldview your subconscious has constructed to obfuscate the truth. That your dad is not necessarily the clown-loving maniac you thought he was. All along, this negative attribute buried in your psyche may have been projected onto him and subsequently revealed as a sort of defense mechanism. But this is absurd. My dad loves these shitty clowns. He's got all these statues and paintings everywhere. It is unthinkable that over the years it was he who believed you were the one with a passion for clowns because of all the strange drawings in your room. A father then embraces the son's hobby to establish a stronger bond, or wages a campaign of passive-aggressive mockery of your interests. Either is plausible. I don't know your dad that well. I don't know, not sure about this, but I think we need to stop and acknowledge the bunny Sassacre fedora I just made. It is awesome. Yeah. Wow, what are you doing, by the way, Rose? Sorry to say, but this is all looking kind of silly. I'm trying to spread the upward construction around so there is a more substantial foundation for later on. But I'm starting to wonder if it will be strong enough. It's kind of starting to wobble a little bit. I don't think brick chimneys were meant to serve this architectural purpose. Yeah, no shit. I might have to adopt a different building strategy. Stick to more load-bearing walls and blockier shapes, especially since Grace has been easier to come by lately. Okay, but you really must be running low on time by now, right? Right, Strider! Jade, dream up extra arms and play advanced bass solo. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a break for a little bit, and I'll come back and do some more.